So you know what's really fun?
What?
MoochDocking. You know what's more fun? MoochDocking with power.
MoochDocking with AC units.
Oh, good call.
That's actually better.
That's actually better. So we picked up SoftStartUp. We use this when we don't have a full 50 amp connection. And a lot of campground pedestals will have a 30 amp to a 50 amp connection, which this comes in handy. But we've never tested it with just a 20 amp connection before.
Well, we're gonna find out today how it goes.
Let's roll. Welcome to the Wandering RV Show, your source for our stories,
Our screw-ups.
and our successes living the full-time RV life. I'm your host, Kara, the Wandering RV Bed, and this is my driver, Ryan.
Howdy! So, what is MoochDocking? Well, MoochDocking is when you plug your RV. Well, you actually don't have to plug your RV in. Hold on.
No, back up.
Yeah. Let's start that over. MoochDocking is when you park your RV in somebody's yard or driveway.
Yeah, like, a friend's house or family's house.
I mean,
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, boondocking is when you're, out there without any electricity or anything. And mooch-docking is just... Actually, no, mooch-docking is when you're plugging in, because mooching is...
You're mooching
Ha!
off of their electricity to power your RV, which comes in really handy for a setup like ours where we don't have a generator, we don't have solar, all we have is our onboard batteries on our RV, and quite frankly, it's not really enough to go more than just like 1 day dry camping.
And that's only to keep the fridge running, not anything else.
It's true.
But mooch-docking is where you take your standard household plug, 20 amp or 15 amp. 15 amp.
1.5 amp.
Yeah.
So there's so many numbers. It's so confusing.
And in our case, we're adapting from a 50 amp. Your RV might be a 30 amp, so you might be adapting from 30 down to 20 or 15. We're going to be adapting from 50 down to 20.
Yeah. And we normally use SoftStartUp. Oh, I got it up.
And of course. Of course you did.
Just, editor man, just redo that part.
I don't think you can.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Well, we normally use SoftStartUp when we're at a campsite that only has a 30 amp connection at the pedestal because we have an RV with 2 AC units. There's some RVs that even have 3 AC units. Those RVs need a 50 amp connection in order to get those ACs all working. And trust me, when it's warm and you're camping in the summer or the spring or the south, you kind of want those ACs. So we use this to convert 30 amps into essentially allowing us to run both AC units or an AC unit and a microwave or whatever combinations we need at the time to get the power that we need to get where we otherwise wouldn't have a full 50 amp connection. But we've never ever come across a campsite with a 20 amp connection until now.
Well, we've come across sites with 20 amp connections, but where we're at right now has one, so we're going to test it because we wanted to test it to see if it works on 20 amp.
We should probably take a moment, though, to talk a little bit about our setup because everybody's setup is going to be different. Your power needs are going to be different. And I think it's worth telling everybody what we got going on so that when we get to the testing phase, you have that context.
So a single AC unit can run off of 20 amp. It actually, in our RV specifically, I don't know about yours, but in ours, we have a 20 amp breaker inside of the RV that's for each AC unit. So each AC unit can use 20 amps, and when you're on a 50 amp connection, that means everything else is running, across that. So if you just use math, you can kind of assume one AC unit works on 20 amps. Well,
what about girl math? How does that work? Girl math means
I can run my blow dryer whenever I want.
Yes, I can run my blow dryer when see, girl math means I need both ACs because I get hot and hangry, and so we got to just be able to run multiple things at the same time.
Saying all that, we know one AC unit can run off of this. And what this is doing is, I'm presuming it's just building up some sort of capacitance so that way when a secondary thing turns on, it allows that initial jolt, but then once it gets down to running amperage, everything's okay. Now, I don't know what running amperage is on an AC unit, so I don't know if 2 AC units, 10 amps plus 10 amps, is accurate or not. But we also have a bunch of stuff up here. So there's a gaming computer, a router, there's a PS5, but it's not actually on right now. Starlink, all that stuff is going to stay on. So we're not going to turn off any of our other things. So when we turn that one AC unit on it, when we turn that one AC unit on, it's going to be competing with everything else that's also going, which includes the fridge, all that. and our lights, which are 12 volts, so they're actually running off of the battery, so I don't think, but the battery has to recharge, obviously, but I don't think that's really going to affect anything. So you'll see that the lights stay on and everything like that, and that'll stay on.
Hopefully, unless we blow a breaker. But we don't just want to run one AC unit, and even these things that are up here. We want to be able to run our microwave. We want to be able to run our air fryer. We want to potentially be able to run 2 AC units. So we're going to test all of that today and see what we can get away with before that breaker blows.
Yeah, because if you're Mooch-docking, say your friend goes to bed at like 10 p.m. and you decide you want to heat up some
midnight snack,
and you blow the breaker inside their house, do you really want to wake them up to get them to turn it back on? No. So we're going to test for you so you know what you can get away with.
First things first, turn off the power. You don't want to shock. Plug it into that dog bone adapter, plug it into the pedestal, turn the power back on, run the diagnostic, and off we go. First up, we're testing 1 AC on the 20 amp circuit, and as we predict, it should work just fine.
Yeah, like, we know it's going to work. Like, this is a foregone conclusion. It's just kind of a test to prove that the 1 AC unit works. Then we'll go on to the 2.
Exactly. Moment of truth. All the modes. While we wait for that to kick on, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss an episode.
It's working.
It's working. All right, now that we're kind of letting it get through that initial amperage surge, we can go test 2 AC units and see if that works.
Well, we gotta wait a second. It takes a minute.
Did you hit the notification bell? Oh, okay. Did you hit the subscribe button? Yeah, okay. All right, we're good. Now let's go test. And all the modes. We'll do auto and drop that down so it actually actuates. Yeah, it can get pretty warm in here when it's hot. Oh?
It's starting up.
It's starting up. Let's give it a minute, because remember, that initial power surge can sometimes blow the breaker. It seems to be working, though.
There's no way.
It's working. All right, 2 AC units confirmed. This is kind of a shocking outcome. I really did not expect both AC units to work on 20 amps.
Yeah, we actually kind of pre-tested this a little bit in advance, and it failed. So I don't know what's going on right now, so we're going to give it a minute.
I wonder if we didn't wait long enough for one to start up before we did the second one.
It's possible, so let's see.
It just died. Okay, so it worked for maybe 5 minutes, and then did both of them die?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the circuit blew.
The circuit blew. Okay, so 2 AC units worked for a couple minutes, then it blew, so we called that a little too quick. 2 AC units, not confirmed.
We were literally in the process of about to test the microwave with the 2 AC units, so that's why we were over here. But clearly the 2 AC units kind of failed. We kind of predicted that. That was kind of a known quantity, but now I think it's a good time to test 1 AC unit and the microwave.
Exactly. Although I do have to say, it's kind of funny, my watch keeps going off because our power supply that tells us when the power goes out at the RV texts us, which is really awesome. Story for another day and video for another day, but it's really handy when we leave our dog and we go venturing out to know if for some reason we lose power at the campground, and it is going haywire right now.
So yesterday, I mentioned earlier, we did a little bit of pre-testing. When we tested it yesterday, obviously we only got 1 AC unit to go, and then the second AC unit pretty much failed almost immediately. Then we got it back up and running. We had 1 AC unit, and we turned the ceiling, I had the ceiling fan on just for airflow, which, by the way, our ceiling fan runs off of shore power. It's not like running off of the 12 volts, so it's actually on shore power. And we had 1 AC unit and the ceiling fan fail. Now, we went back, we tried it again, and it did work. So we're just giving you all the information. We weren't able to reproduce that failure. But again, this is where we were talking about everybody's setup is different. And so there might have been something like maybe the computer grabbed an update or something right at that moment, drew just enough power that then all of a sudden... So this is all information for you to absorb.
Next up, 1 AC unit and a microwave. You know what's funny is every time the power goes out like this, we lose all of our clock settings. So everything's just blinking on 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Here we go, moment of truth. Oh. Well, it flickered, but the microwave's still going. Is the AC still going? Oh, it's trying. Oh, now it finally died. Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, so this is another deviation for us. Yesterday, we were able to get one AC unit and the microwave to run perfectly fine. No issues whatsoever. So it's like we got a little bit more power this time, and we got 2 of the ACs running, and now it kind of feels like everything's a little wonkified, and we're not getting as much. So we're going to tell you, you might be able to get an AC and a microwave going. We were yesterday, but as you can clearly see, today we're not.
Yeah. So 1 AC and 1 microwave, maybe. Next up, 1 AC unit and an air fryer. What is all this? Got to move this out of the way.
Clean up. We got to prep for dinner. Come on.
We got to prep for dinner.
Okay, so I want to... Can you give me some space so I can get on camera?
Is this what we're having for dinner?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the things I want to talk about is the fact that we are at a campsite and not at somebody's house. So there's always a chance that we're not truly getting a full 20 amps. We might only be getting 15 amps. Kind of unknown. So those, again, all the factors that we just want to present to you so you can kind of make a decision if buying one is right for you.
There you go. Moment of truth.
So here we're going through a preheat process, right?
Yeah.
So this should be when it's consuming the most power.
Should be. That, in theory, that's when it's consuming the most power. We use our air fryer all the time, though, so I'm going to be really sad if this does not work. I hardly ever use my RV oven. They're terrible. They're terrible. I would love to have a big air fryer and then just like a convection microwave in place of the RV oven and the regular microwave. Just putting that out there for any RV manufacturers who might be looking for ideas. Hint, hint.
I feel like she's also putting this on my honey-do list.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, it just shut off while it was in the preheat mode.
Didn't even get to the actual cook mode.
Didn't get to the cook mode. Oh, this is such a bummer. 1 AC unit and an air fryer, not so much.
Yeah, so, yeah, again, I'm telling you all this for your information. Yesterday, we
It worked.
No.
Kind of.
We got through the preheat process, and then it started counting down, and then it cut off.
Yeah.
It still didn't work either way.
Not long enough to heat something up.
Yeah, so it's definitely not a non-starter. But, so you know, it might get through the preheat process.
Darn air fryer. Pulling way too much power. Now, let's test the microwave by itself, just to see, with no AC, no nothing else going on, just to see if that'll work by itself on that 20 amp connection.
Well, not no nothing. We still have all that equipment going.
Okay, well, you know, something.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of electricians will tell you that a microwave should be on its own circuit, and it is on its own circuit, but then everything's getting combined and going into another circuit.
Yeah, moment of truth.
Barely.
It fluttered, but it's going. You might be able to heat up that hot pocket. Let's do it one more time just for good measure. Fluttered again, but it's going.
It's like that initial amperage draw is just enough to kind of push it on the edge, but not quite enough to pop the breaker.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to call that confirmed. Microwave by itself, 20 amp connection, good to go. Now, because we cook way more often on our air fryer on a regular basis, I want to test the air fryer by itself as well. So let's go.
Now, obviously, we're giving the air fryer a little bit of an advantage because it was already, kind of warmed up a little bit. So we'll see.
It's preheating. That's a good sign. Also, if you want to pick up this air fryer for yourself, we absolutely love it. We cook pizzas in here. We cook all kinds of stuff in here. It's actually in our Amazon shop cart. We'll either link it below or go check our profile to check it out. Preheat complete, and it is going. Hey, hey! 1 air fryer by itself, confirmed.
So you can heat the place, you just can't cool things down while heating it.
Yeah.
So we're not going to sit here and wait for it to cook for like 20 or 30 minutes without the AC on. We're in Florida. It's pretty warm.
It's hot. You
should be able to cook on it because the preheat process is where the heater is on the entire time. And then after that, it just turns on every once in a while to maintain the temperature. So you should be solid with an air fryer based off of that test.
Just don't forget and turn your AC unit on while your pizza's cooking, because otherwise you might have a problem. Our last test is 1 AC unit and our dryer. Yes, we have a washer and dryer in our RV. It's a game changer. Ready to go? Seems to be working. I didn't even hear any fluttering in the power either.
Yeah, I don't know how long the heater takes to kind of get going on a dryer, but I mean, that seems pretty reasonable. I guess try throwing on a high heat for a second.
Hopefully it doesn't shrink our clothes.
I said for just a second. Okay.
That seems really good. So 1 AC unit and the dryer, confirmed.
Oh, fresh AC.
Uh,
It still hasn't cooled down in the rest of the camper yet, but, you know, we figured come back here.
so we're tucked into the bedroom.
Listen, in the summer, well, it's not even in the summer. In Florida, like, it gets hot. It can be nice outside and get hot inside really easy with that sun just beating down on you.
I think it's only in the mid-70s today, but it was pretty toasty in the camper with all of the testing going on. So the conclusion of our test is some things work, some things don't. If you're working with a setup like ours, no generator, no solar power, this is actually a really good option. But the one variable that you're always still going to have to be aware of is, are you actually getting a full 20 amps, or in some cases 30 amps, from the power source?
Yeah, and honestly, I really recommend SoftStartUp mostly for the use case scenario of I want to connect to a 30 amp connection. It's the most useful scenario. You get 2 ACs off of that 30 amp, or an AC and a microwave or air fryer for sure off of that. No big deal.
But this will make life a lot more comfortable if you're MoochDocking for a couple of days or up to a week or something like that, and you're not in like super extreme temperatures.
For sure. Okay, I have one little issue though. So,
what is your complaint?
this is the dog bone that SoftStartUp, that is really hard to say, guys. SoftStartUp ships to you as part of your package.
Which is actually kind of nice that they ship you a dog bone with the package as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the 50 amp connector on it, so you can use it as is to kind of soften the blow, especially if you don't have like a full 50 amp connection. Really useful for that scenario. But the issue is, when you go to plug this in, so this would normally go onto your pedestal. This is facing the wrong, I don't know if y'all can even see that. This is facing the wrong direction. You have to flip this over, go down the chain, and now your power connector is upside down going into it, and this is facing towards the ground. You can't look at the diagnostic. That's a problem. This is the 30 amp connector that we bought when we first started RVing.
Which, by the way, is good to have whether you have a SoftStartUp or not. 30 amp to a 50 amp dog bone, that's a plus.
But see how it goes opposite directions? So now,
Plug it in, and you can see the diagnostics.
so a little bit of a criticism. It's nice that they give you the dog bone, but it'd be nicer if they gave you the correct dog bone. I think their thought is, like, if you're MoochDocking, what you could do is have it like this, and then a plug that goes into somebody's garage or something like that. I think that's kind of their concept, but I think it's more useful to have it this way. Just my 2 cents.
Either way, though, we absolutely love our Soft Start. We've been really, really happy with it, and we've used it at all kinds of places, especially with that 30 amp to 50 amp connection. Been able to run both ACs, no problem at all. So if you want one for yourself, definitely hit us up. Go to www.softstartup.com/wanderingRVbabe for a sweet, sweet deal. Well, this was fun. Let's do it again next week, and happy camping.
Bye!
Bye!
Okay, there's going to be a lot of criticism. So one of the things we didn't do is we didn't actually test what we could have done on 20 amp without the SoftStartUp. And so, you know, I'm going to preempt those comments right now and tell you what you need to reply and what you can say, or those of you who are still listening to us, is the whole reason that we didn't test it on a regular 20 amp without the SoftStartUp is because you're getting 20 amps no matter what. This is really only designed to handle, like, spikes. So we know an AC can run off of 20 amps. It's just that it's going to spike. We've got other things running. Like, this is just trying to soften the blow. And personally, I don't want to go out there and constantly having to turn it off and on in this heat.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it to me. I honestly will say, like, the better confirmation is, if you have to do 20 amps, you should just have one of these. Like,
100%.
It's going to protect your RV to have a little bit of extra power in those spiky moments to
absorb that extra push.
Yeah, it's different from a surge protector. So a surge protector is protecting you from the power from the pedestal coming in. This is kind of just protecting you from an additional power demand from your RV in one of those moments. I personally would not hook up to a 20 amp without one. I have hooked up to a 30 amp without one, but it's nice to have that because you can actually run 2 AC units off of it pretty smoothly.
Yeah, it comes in clutch.